I've always been pretty creative as a child. I loved pretty things. I loved creating things. And because the fashion industry seemed very glamorous and very fun, I was like, yeah, okay, let's become a fashion designer.
So shifting from NIFT, then tell me, now we'll come back to the main part of, why I have called you also and why we are doing this is your entrepreneurial journey.
Right.
Okay, and how you started and what was the shift? Like, firstly, what was the shift? Like, of course, that you understood the industry, and it's very good. I personally think that when people understand that they don't want to do it, and just because you have invested your time in doing it, it doesn't matter at all that you're changing, and it shouldn't matter what people are saying first.
Right.
Like people will say, "Arey, why don't you work in hospitality? Why don't you work with Taj?" It doesn't matter. First, I earn better.
Right. Yeah.
I have better network. I have better resources.
And you're happier.
And you're happier, which matters.
Which is a big thing. Which is a big thing in today's world.
Biggest important thing. So when you shift, I wanted to know like what made you shift. Of course, I know that you thought this industry is you have already.
Yeah. So I had my set of problems with the industry, but I was still like, okay, I'll take a job. I'll see maybe in 4-5 years I can shift or I can start my own company where I can make the rules. But I think the lockdown definitely had a big role to play. So I'm from 2020 batch. And by the time we all winded up like our graduation project and everything, I think it was 2021. It was still quite peak lockdown time.
Correct.
And it was very difficult to get jobs. I was applying like crazy. And to be very frank with you, I wasn't the best candidate also for a job because my marks aren't that good. And my graduation project, so we have a graduation project at the end of the year, which is around, that's when they let you be creative. They're like, choose whatever theme you want, make whatever you want.
Go balls. Like,
go all out. So for that, my theme was related to spirituality and crystals.
Okay.
So I was using crystals for embroidery and clothes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the whole space I was coming from. And then I was like, okay, there are these people who are selling jewelry made out of crystals on Instagram. Let me just do it as a side thing. And I was still applying for jobs. I was still taking up freelance projects. Like I was doing a lot of branding projects. I was making packaging designs. So I was just kind of in that hustle mode,
Right.
But I started this thing as a side thing. And I think maybe it was the perfectionist in me or something. But when I finally launched, I launched with like at least 30 products, a full branding. When I launched, I went all out. I thought I would just launch a set of bracelets.
Correct.
And just post a picture on Instagram and sell it. But I just couldn't get myself to do that. I worked on the packaging. I worked on the branding. I delayed the launch by 3 months. And then I launched it. Yeah, as a brand.
So that's the whole point, right? Like when you're building a brand, okay, a lot of people think today and try doing tomorrow and it fails. Okay?
Right, yeah.
Second is, a lot of people think, but it doesn't come into picture ever.
Yeah.
And there are third people like you. Why I'm saying is because I was going to ask this, that how important do you think is to have a research when you're shifting a domain, right?
It is.
Yeah. So what was the research and what were the first exposures to crystals and spirituality? Because I think that's a niche from my end. I don't know how.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a niche.
And also I would say it very openly. Like some people might have opinions which are against it. Which every industry has.
All the time.
But like I have seen people, people have a certain way of looking at it, and people take very literal meaning of words.
Right, yeah.
Right? When you say spirituality, it ends from one sentence to the point of it. But there is a lot in it, right? The word has a lot of different meaning and it has a lot of things. And again, crystals wearing those and having those. Yeah. So what was the first exposure to it and what was the research went to it? Because again, it is a sensitive topic, I feel, for some people, right?
So most of my research started during the lockdown only and a little bit before that. I was just going through some, mental things of my own, and I started researching about it. Started researching about healing, and I used to watch. So people who are into spirituality will relate to this. I used to watch a lot of pick a card readings. So this is just tarot readers who've made a video, and you're supposed to choose a pile, and they'll tell you what's going on in your life. Started doing that a lot, and I was like, oh my god, like she knows what's going on in my life, and my belief in it started growing. My aunt and my grandmom are also Reiki healers. So they've always been
Okay, what is Reiki healers like for someone who might know? And even I'm not sure what it is.
Reiki is basically energy work.
Okay.
So my aunt, so people come to her with like, okay, I have pain in this area of my body, or I have mental disturbance. And she sends you healing on an energetic level.
Okay.
So she's qualified and trained to do that. There's a whole process of initiation into the Reiki circle, and you have to get your certification and all of that. And she sends you energy which helps you heal.
Okay.
So I think one big part of my journey into spirituality was I was going through this mental upheaval. I was alone in Bombay during the lockdown. And my mom just told me, it's like, just talk to her, ask her to send you Reiki. And she did it for 3 days. And I don't know what happened, but I felt I felt a huge shift on the third day. And on the third day when she sent Reiki healing, she's like, 2 days back, I was feeling a lot of blockages, but I think you're feeling better now.
Correct.
So she knew I was feeling better before I even told her I was feeling better,
Correct.
which blew my mind. And I was just like, there's definitely something to it. And my point of view has always been, if things work for you, just do it. Like,
Correct.
It doesn't matter if someone thinks it's stupid, it's working for you. Like, why do you need to attach logic?
Like how you said, okay, so let's, very straight question I'm putting it to you, and I don't know if it's
please.
But like, let's, when you say stupid, okay, like, let's say someone calls it like, what you do is stupid, okay. But that thing, see, when I grew up, okay, like, log haath dekhte hain. There are a lot of things, okay. There is numerology, okay, and a lot of big people are into it. A lot of people are secretly into it. Okay, they don't want to showcase the world that, hey, you know what I'm doing. But again, it plays a very major role to believe in something, right? Because that, again, when you speak about energy, I'm not that person who understands it, but I believe in energy. Like when someone says, what it is, okay, you create your own energy sometimes. Right?
I think everyone can feel, when the vibe is off, or the vibe is good. That's energy at a very
when people
basic
say, oh, you know what, let's vibe together. Like, I like the vibe of the person.
That means you like their energy, you like their aura.
It's parallel to like, okay, correct, got it. So when these things happen, okay, when you say energy, how important it is to, put yourself into a place where you're not having a judgmental thought about it. How important is it to turn into spirituality? Or see, I'm not saying when turn into spirituality, for people who are listening, is like leave everything and just do spirituality
that's
safed kapde pehno and
I am very full color clothes
and
today.
Like good also. So coming back to this, see how important it is to when spirituality, to keep your mind open to, hey, you know what, like I want that, let's say 1% of it to be spiritual. Because I was mentioning to you, like meditation part, okay?
Right.
Because we're constantly working, constantly thoughts are there, okay? And to keep your mind at one place, like literally I can't keep. Like,
right. Yeah,
I started reading few days back. Okay, like first book I got. And then the reason I did it is because I thought, if I could read for 10 pages and I am in it, that means I still have a little control over my mind.
Right, yeah.
And I'm not thinking, oh, my next meeting is at this time, or I have to call these, or I have scheduled this, right? So, my question is that how important is it to be very open to think spirituality and understand it, and then you can have your own, again, thoughts and judgments regarding it, and you can...
I think being non-judgmental before getting into a spiritual space is the most important thing. Because in spirituality, we say, so judgment comes out of fear, okay?
Correct.
Fear is this big thing in spirituality. Like any blockage you have in life is due to your fear of something, which, you need to explore. So I have a lot of people who want to buy bracelets, to pass an exam or to get this opportunity or to get that. And they're like, are you sure it'll work? And I was like, are you sure it will work?
Correct. So,
like, do you have that belief? Your belief is so important when it comes to these things, because that's your energy, right?
Correct.
If you have fear in your energy, it will translate into your life.
Very true. Very true.
So that is very important before you get into spirituality. That's something that I personally worked on a lot as well. And even, you know, when you start a business, you need to believe that your business is going to take off. You need to foolishly believe that, no, I'm sitting in my bedroom and packing orders right now, but I'm going to have an office space and it's going to be this big company one day. You need to keep going.
On your office space.
Thank you.
I saw this story and I know you're working hard to make it, like, you know, like, I think you're using good color palette also to make it.
Right. Yeah, just energetically make it.
That's also very important, space. Right? Like, see, now I'm, you know, like, I'm having this fun because, see, what you're saying, okay, let's consider it, you're tagging with a word, let's say spirituality, okay. But I always thought, okay, people say, believe in God, okay? Like, I believe in God and I don't believe in God. There are people who say openly that I don't believe in God. But definitely people, when there's a negative thing happening in their life, first thing people would do is go to the temple and, you know, pray.
Yeah.
To take the shot. Okay, that, hey, you know what, if I pray, if I pray right now, something better will happen.
Yeah.
But they don't understand, like, God is a belief, right? Like, I believe in God. Okay, I truly believe in God. Because that's a positive energy in itself. That's a focal point.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So when you say, like, you know, when people are saying that, hey, you know what, will I pass my exam? When you're not confident about yourself enough, which you made that thing clear, no matter what things you do, okay, like, hey, you know what, I want to become a billionaire, I want to become a millionaire, or I want to change the world, okay? But doing is the process. Believing is the process, right?
Yeah.
And then when these things
So you shouldn't go to God and ask, will I pass the exam?
You
should ask, how can I pass my exam? You know, have that energy that there is a solution and you can seek guidance from God or from the universe or whatever you believe in to help you figure it out. But in your mind, you should know that I am figuring it out. I'm going to figure it out. And that energy is very important with anything, I think. With your business. With
Believing in yourself is very important.
Ultimately, it's that.
Like a lot of people happen to have this, you know, I meet people who are starting business, or sometimes people ask me nowadays, you know, like, how do you start getting into business and how do you motivate? See, I wake up with very negative energy sometimes. Like, negative as in, like, you don't even want to get out of the bed. But then you sit and you channelize your head to process that way, because you can't leave today. You can't be like, you know what, because let's say you have like 500 people working for you and you are needed there. You can't just be like, you know what, I'm not feeling nice today, so I won't come. Or I just want to take a leave. Right now, physical health and mental health. Mental health hits physical health. 101%. You know? Like, people fight. Sometimes you would listen to these things. You know, someone fought cancer without taking medication. Because you're mentally strong. You're giving that energy to your body. That, you know, nothing
and I am one of those people, I fully believe that stress is the biggest cause of any illness. Maybe stress and genetics kind of come at the same level.
Correct.
But I learned this at SVS also, which is a yoga institute. And they said that, you know, when you have too many, so this is the nicest thing I've learned about stress, which has changed my life. So they say when you have too many thoughts in your head, all of your oxygen is getting used up in managing those thoughts and getting those thoughts. There's nothing left for digestion. There's nothing left for the other processes of your body. So your body is under stress because it doesn't have enough oxygen to carry out these bodily functions. You're spending all of it in thinking.
That's why when you have anxiety, you feel mukish. You have
exactly.
Now it's making sense. Like, because, so it's like decoding few things, you know, in terms of that. Right. So, tell me, like, let's say people who are listening, what, in a smallest of the smallest description, what is spirituality? Like, layman's term, like, you know?
Okay. Spirituality is taking control of your energy and the energy around you, I guess you can say. So, you don't have to wear certain kind of clothes, have certain kind of habits, or even... You can even not be meditating and be called spiritual. It's just your belief in
something.
It could be
a focal point.
So like you said, you believe in God, right? So there are people who believe in like deities and gods. There are people who believe in the universe. There are people and you can also believe in a higher version of yourself.
So how did you start your business? Like, if someone wants to like get into crystal and healing and there are two things, right? One, to gain the knowledge about all these things. What is the sources that you can go to, and how do you source your crystals, and how do you tell about those crystals to your clients, and is that something which has to be recommended, or it's like anyone can wear just for in terms of fashion or something?
The first question that you said, when you start any kind of healing business, it's very important to first be knowledgeable yourself.
Correct.
And second is that you need to establish this trust among your clients, because so these products aren't exactly utility products, right?
Correct.
They're sort of there to enhance your life.
Correct.
So for example, if you have to, let's say, buy a yoga mat, there's a way to judge, okay, this yoga mat doesn't slip, this is good quality,
correct,
all of that. But with crystals, it's all about energy.
Correct.
So for me, the biggest learning has been to establish that trust among my clients. And I think these kind of businesses are the ones where you can really easily build loyal customers.
So repeated customers are
Repeated customers, yeah. Okay. Even though, like, from very early on, I had people who kept coming back. People have bought 10 times, 12 times, 15 times.
So if you see your business right now, have you tried analyzing it? Like, are your customers, come because of the fashion, or, just to put up an additional accessory? Or they come for a better, like, much more higher purpose, or it's like a balance of both?
It's a balance of both. So we specialize in handmade crystal jewelry.
Okay.
And we're currently the only ones doing it in India. So I make a lot of trendy jewelry designs using only crystals. So in that sense, a lot of people come who just want to wear something nice out, and you want to upgrade their normal day-to-day accessory. So if you can wear, like, why would you want to wear plastic beads ka necklace? And you can wear a rose quartz necklace, and it's kind of giving the same fashion.
What?
Rose quartz.
What is rose quartz?
Like? Rose quartz is a crystal which is good for self-love and emotional healing.
Okay. So basically, you're saying that some people would just come as fashion because because you can't. I don't think you can't differentiate in terms of, because they're again pearls and these things. But again, everything has its own significance to it.
Right, right.
If that knowledge has been taken, that is much more better. You think like it's good, right?
Yeah, it is.
Your crystals.
So, for example, you have a lot of social anxiety and you're going out to a party. You can wear a crystal which helps you deal with that social anxiety. And if I can make that crystal trendy,
correct,
then you can make it an accessory, right? You don't need to hide your jewelry, or you don't need to carry a stone. Correct. So I have a balance of both. I have people who are coming to me because my jewelry is very trendy and I'm making it in crystals. And then there are people who are genuinely just looking for meditation work, for healing work, and that's why they're purchasing.
So I want to also know, because I just got this question in my head, that how difficult is client handling here? Because let's say I could sense it, because a lot of people, mostly on Instagram, I have seen that people ask, but buying is very less. Like if 100 people ask, 10 will buy, 20 will buy. I don't know the exact numbers, but I have heard that. And plus again, returns and all those, because you are on you might take your business serious on Instagram, but someone might not. Unko nahi pata ki, how much effort has gone.
Right. Yeah.
So how is the customer handling happen? Because in terms of, let's say you try to knowledge me on something. Let's say I come to you and I'm like, hey, you know what, I want to buy something trendy. And now you're putting me into knowledge that, rather than this, or I tell you like, hey, you know what, I want a red crystal. And so is it you who try to dig in, or is it the person, or is it just a phrase saying, hey, you know what, if you're just looking at red, this is what we have, a variety of crystals, and these help in this, and the conversation happens. Or you just be like, ठीक है, लेना है उसको तो ले रहा है.
Yeah, this is a very interesting question. This is so I've seen a lot of other crystal businesses and spiritual businesses struggle with this, because when you're a healer, right, people kind of treat you like their therapist. I had a lot of my customers come and just pour their emotional baggage on my account, and this is something that I've made it better over time. So you put boundaries. So I have a guide on my website. Be like, okay, just read through this. This will give you a better idea.
Correct.
I started taking paid consultations because I realized earlier that I was just giving free knowledge. And so I still do it. Like if they ask me down to a basic questions, like I want something for money, I'll be like, okay, I'll go for green eventually. But if they come and they've written a big paragraph that, oh, this happened in my life and then my business went down and then this person, whatever, then I'd be like, listen, I'll be able to give you more attention if you book a consultation with me. It's in the best of both.
So it becomes like a secondary source of income.
Yeah,
also, knowledge is playing.
So in this, I think personally, you need to have very strong boundaries as a business. So I'm okay losing sales because I value my time over money. My time is very important. So I know that if I'm giving half an hour to this person, just telling them what crystal they want, and maybe there's no guarantee of sale, and at most also they'll spend maybe 1,000 rupees on my store.
Correct.
But I can use that half an hour to make marketing content which will get me more leads and more attraction.
Correct.
Yeah. So you need to have that personal boundary with yourself. You need to not be willing to lose a few sales here and there in the short term. But yeah, that's very important. I see most spiritual businesses struggle with this.
I like what you said. Like, you made a very good point that, I value my time because it is very important because we are moving in a very fast world, because every minute counts, right? Where you want to spend. And second important thing, now I like what about your business is whenever I tell people, like, how you should have a business. So when we started our company also, whatever you have in your head, if you are getting paid for that, that's the best thing you can do. Right. Then comes networking and how you market yourself. As I was telling you, like, why I do this is, to make myself as a brand. Tomorrow, it doesn't matter how much numbers, but like, I want people to know that, if you come to me, I'm going to be this valuable to you, and that is why I'm costing that much, right? So when it is, now I like this overall brand itself because it is a smart business in itself. Because if you take, let's say you sell 4 of the jewelry, but you do 6 of the consultancy, you are having a running business. And I think the investment against returns is higher on consultancy also, because you are not investing anything apart from your time. Right. So I really like this part. The question was that, how do we source? Like, do you get these things in India, or you have to, look into other countries?
So with crystals, there's one thing also. There are a lot of fake crystals in the market.
I'm going to ask you that also.
There are a lot of fake crystals in the market, and a lot of times your vendors will try to cheat you because they're very experienced. I'm a new business person. So one thing is important, like, know what you're sourcing.
Correct.
I studied crystals extensively. I understood, what crystals are more likely to be fake in the market. So I understood, okay, citrine is this crystal which is kind of rare to find. Citrine, It's this very nice orange crystal which is good for positivity and happiness. So that is something that they take an amethyst crystal and they heat it, and that's passed off as citrine a lot. So all of this knowledge gathering before you start sourcing is very important.
Correct.
So I sort of knew what I was coming. So like, if someone's giving me authentic citrine for very less money, I know that they're probably trying to cheat me. And most of my vendors are they based in India only, but they get their stuff from outside, all over the world. And there are a lot of crystals which are found in India only, but then there's an Indian version of an amethyst. There's a Brazilian version of an amethyst.
So but you to tell them, like, this is the Indian version of it which you're buying. So the prices may differ.
Exactly.
Now, which you're saying that you have sources in India. So right now your vendors are fixed now, like, like 4-5 years. Like, if I don't find this year, then I can try this. So that takes a lot of grit work, honestly. Like, in the beginning, I think I've easily spoken to like 50 vendors. Just that's
and because I was starting with very little capital, I was like, "Bhaiya, jo bhi aapka nahi bik raha, mujhe de do. I will sell it."
Because I'm a good salesperson that way. Like, I can put it in a
I can add value. I can make jewelry out of it. So it was a lot of grit work that I did in the beginning, which is still continuing to pay off.
What is the investment you would require for something like this? Like, minimum, whatever, or what was the...
I'll tell you what I started with. I started with, like, I was getting 20K a month from my mother, and I think within 3-4 months, I broke even. I could give it back.
But still, like, month 1, what was it and what was the revenue? Just to...
I invested 20K for sure, because a lot of packaging and all of that. I would say I made maybe 5, 6K, 8K.
And what was the followers and all that time? Like, how much?
I had, I converted my personal account into my brand account, which is, I made a mistake. No, it's not a good idea. Because those followers aren't your brand's followers. They followed me because I was a chick. They're not interested in crystals. They're interested in like a girl posting her pictures. Correct. So I won't recommend doing that. But I wanted to start with at least.
What for boys? Boys can do it.
No, honestly, no. I mean, just kidding, you won't have your target audience as your followers, right? Yeah.
I'll tell you. Sorry, I'm interrupting here, but you get a lot of messages. So there was this one message saying that I have 300,000 followers. Okay, and I'm selling the page, and I'm like, selling the page, but if I am taking those 300,000 followers and I'm paying you, what is the whole point? Like they followed for some other reason.
Some other reason, right? Exactly. Correct. That's why these things don't work. Like you can have a huge number of followers but not be making any sales. Yeah. So that was a bad thing to do, but I had around 1,000 followers that time.
So slow shift is good, but so is this account the same account?
Yeah, it's the same account. So now you'll see I have 3,000 followers. So in 2 years, it's not grown that much because people kept unfollowing.
That happens with everyone, I think.
Yeah, but it happened more with me because the people who I had, they were just not interested in crystals to begin with. So yeah, that was one mistake I made.
But yeah, I think 3,000 because see, right now it's so hard to get organic followers. Yeah. I was telling Nico also that day that I don't want that million or hundreds of thousands. I want organic who believe in what I say and who believe in what I do and who believe in themselves to understand this. Like now, see, it started becoming fancy of the number game, but then it's like a 2-minute thing. Like if you go for 100 followers,
exactly.
But if no one is like, let's say you have 1 million followers, okay. Now let's consider for some other thing. Let's say for your personality or how you look. But whatever you're saying, you might be smarter than other people in the room.
Right.
But people are looking at you in a way where because she's beautiful or because she has good way of putting things out, we are following. But we are not interested in what she's talking about. So that makes most sensible things. But yeah. So last one question and then we'll close this. That what is the pricing for your products right now? Because we will put your links and all. Okay. So yeah.
So we market ourselves as an affordable crystal store. So we have products on all different kind of ranges. So we have products starting from ₹100 also. So you can, cool. You can get a stone, like a smaller sized raw stone for ₹100. So it starts from as little as that. And this was one of my biggest things also, that I want to make crystal healing affordable. Because usually when you take crystals, you take from these Jyotish people or like astrologers, and they just add their value also to it. So they will sell the same stone for like 400, 500. And actually does not cost that much. Like my profit margin is pretty good. Yeah. Like you can get products for 100 rupees and then jewelry goes on to ₹500.
And before closing, like what is the, how much do you have in your, stock right now? Like how much stock up do you need to do? Like what is the, retention time and what is the turn time to, keep buying these stones? And
that's something I'm still figuring out. So you can have a system that works for you. I like to keep as many products as I can in stock, especially now that we're getting a bigger office space.
How many products do you have right now in your
easily like over 300.
300 products.
Yeah.
And still can be customized. Like there can be
There can be customized.
I think it's really fun, and hopefully we could see more of it. And I know you're going into a lot of other stuff also, and maybe we'll talk about it, and would want to see you, like growing as an entrepreneur and taking this step and pushing these things, because a lot of people won't understand. And I think one thing you can map up, if you could educate someone in terms of right thing, and if people start understanding that, then you're killing it. Like you are you're the master of that thing, right? So I think hopefully people do understand, and I think a lot of people, young people, are understanding the importance of mental health and spirituality, and keeping your mind in place first, then doing over.
It really is at the base of it. Your mental health decides a lot of other
But at least right now, I think in India, a lot of people are speaking about it and open to talk. So hopefully soon we can see a lot of things. And thank you so much for your time. And all the links we are putting it in the description, and we'll be putting out on the social medias. You can follow, you can order, and please make sure you're genuinely ordering something and understand it before you buy something. She'll help you.